2025 has just begun and the Simpsons predictions are coming true. A wildfire broke out in Los Angeles which spread terror on thousands of acres of land and destroyed many homes. 9 years ago, on September 25, 2016, Simpsons has already shown a scene of this kind in an American town where a fire broke out due to some reason and the whole city turned into smoke. After the fire was extinguished, the aerial photos of Los Angeles County that are coming are surprisingly similar to the Simpsons scene, but how much truth is there in this? What is the secret behind Simpsons predicting the future many years in advance? You must have seen this photo many times before, in which Donald Trump is holding a light globe along with Saudi King Salman and Egyptian President in 2017. This photo is a puzzle in itself. But the thing that is not understandable is how the Simpsons predicted this scene in 2002. What is the reality behind this? Is it really true that powerful people have planned everything in advance and apart from the Los Angeles wildfire for 2025, which of Simpsons' predictions have a chance of coming true? The Simpsons is a legendary animated sitcom series whose first episode was broadcasted when most of us were not even born on 177th December 1989. Since then, more than 700 episodes of it have been released, and now it has become the longest-running scripted show in history in both cartoon and drama categories. This cartoon was earlier very popular only among children, but now its audience has no age limit, and the biggest reason for that is the events shown in it, which proved to be true in the real world after many years. There is a very big list of Simpsons predictions in the past which have proved to be true. In an episode of 1998, it was shown that Homer Simpson is trying to invent something new by writing a math equation while standing in front of a blackboard. At that time, probably no one had seen this clip, but 14 years after the episode was launched, in 2012, scientists discovered the Higgs boson particle, which is also called the God particle. The Higgs boson is a particle in the universe which gives weight to every object. If this particle was not there, then nothing would have weight, and perhaps the shining stars, planets, and even we people would not have existed in this universe. This is the reason why the Higgs boson is also called the God particle. The discovery of the God particle surprised many, but it even more surprising that the physicists who discovered the God particle in 2012 say that the equation that Simpson was writing on the blackboard 14 years ago was very close to calculating the mass of the God particle. Moving forward, in an episode broadcast in March 1995, Lisa was shown in London. In the scene, London's famous Big Ben Tower was shown, behind which the London Bridge can also be seen. But there is one thing in this picture that was not present there at that time. This cone-shaped skyscraper. How did the Simpsons know that exactly 17 years later, a skyscraper of the same shape would be built at the same place, which is now called the Shard? The construction of this building began in 2009, 14 years after that episode of The Simpsons. How can such a big coincidence happen? Let's even accept it. If it was just a coincidence, then is this also a coincidence? In an episode of 1998, the logo of 20th Century Fox was shown. There is nothing special in this logo, but if you look below it, it says Division of Walt Disney, whereas at that time 20th Century Fox Studios did not belong to Walt Disney. 21 years after this episode was published, Walt Disney actually bought 21 and 20th Century Fox Studios. In the year 2000, in the Simpsons episode Back to the Future, it was shown that Lisa has become the President of the United States and she has got a very low budget. In the meeting, Lisa says that all this is the result of the policies of the previous U.S. president, in which she took the name of President Trump. He was held guilty. The question here is that when this episode was released, Trump was a well-known businessman, but he had no chance of becoming the president. This clip of the episode went viral when Trump became the President of America for the first time in 2016 after 16 years. In another scene, Simpsons showed Trump coming down an escalator, and the same scene was repeated in 2015 when he came down the escalator of Trump Tower and was giving news of his candidacy to the media. There was a scene in a Simpsons episode of 1998 in which Lisa shows a list of people about whom she said that they would win the Nobel Prize in the future. If this list is looked at carefully, one name in it is Bankader Homer. Surprisingly, this episode was released in 1998, but Bankader Homer actually got the Nobel Prize in 2016. This is the first episode of Simpsons. Those were the predictions due to which this animated series got a lot of fame. People are surprised to see how The Simpsons predicted the coming time so accurately even many years ago. The questions that are coming to your mind are in my mind too, but the answers to these questions are, in this episode, Liz goes to London and a digital clock is seen installed on the famous Big Ben Tower in place of the analog clock. If seen, it may not be possible to make the clock of Big Ben digital forever, but it is not impossible either. If this is done temporarily, then it will be a very important day in history. Let us tell you here that in 2022, renovation work was done on Big Ben Tower, and during this time it was definitely thought that on the occasion of any special event in the UK, if the clock of the tower is made digital for some time, then it will be an important turning point in history. Now will it be the year 2025 when the digital clock will be installed on this tower? Only time will tell. The next prediction in our list is the female president of the USA. There has never been a female president in the history of America, and regarding this, Simpsons has predicted that a female president will come to America. In 2016, Hillary Clinton took part in the election, but she was not successful, and now in 2024 Kamala Harris also tried her luck, but now Donald Trump has won the election again and will join office on January 20th, 2025. Then how does the chance of a female president in 2025 arise? This idea was floated in another scene of Simpsons when Evans 2028 was written on a small badge. It is possible that Donald Trump's daughter Evans' announcement to contest in the 2028 election will be made this year. In 2025, but at present he is not a part of American politics. Let's move on to the next prediction of The Simpsons, which may be fulfilled in 2025. In a 2010 episode, The Full Monty, it was shown that Mr. Burns has created a device to control the mind so that people's minds can be controlled against their will, and now let us tell you that the world-famous billionaire Elon Musk, whom you know only as the owner of companies like Tesla, Space One and Starlink, also has another company by the name of Neuralink, and this company has been working on a device for the last several years which can control the human mind. It will connect to the computer. Currently, its work will be to control diseases like paralysis, Alzheimer's, and epilepsy. There is a plan to present the prototype of this device to the world in 2025. On February 23, 2020, in an episode of Simpsons, Professor Frink created his crypto coin, which was named Frink Coin. After this, Professor Frank becomes the richest person in Springfield, which is a fictional town in this animated series. In this episode, the importance of making wealth through cryptocurrency and digital assets is shown in a funny way. In another episode of Simpsons, cryptocurrency is shown replacing traditional currency. Cryptocurrency experts say that perhaps 2025 will be that year because Donald Trump had promised before the election that he would make America the crypto capital of the world, and now he is going to join office soon. Moving on to the next prediction. In an episode of 1996, fusion energy was mentioned. Let us tell you here that fusion energy is more powerful than today's clean energy because it does not produce greenhouse gases, generates more power with less fuel, and does not leave long-term radioactive waste as compared to fission, which is still used in energy generation. 2 years ago, a lab in California successfully demonstrated the fusion reaction, which was hinted at by Simpsons in 1996, and it is possible that in 2025, a prototype of this will also be presented to the world. If this happens, then this hydropower will be cheaper than wind turbines and solar in generating electricity, and it does not harm the environment either. Now, before coming to the secret of Simpsons predictions, let us see one last prediction which may be fulfilled in 2025. Lisa in an episode of 1995 used a holographic phone in which the person on the other side of the phone appeared in front of him in a 3D projection. Meta and holography are already working on this, and it is possible that this thing will be launched in 2025. 30 years ago, Simpsons showed this technology as a joke, But now, after augmented reality and holography, it is possible that we may see 3D calls instead of video calls in 2025. Many of Simpsons' predictions have actually proved to be true. At the same time, when this animated series became very famous, people also deliberately copied some of its scenes to get attention. For example, in an episode of 2012, it was shown that Lady Gaga was performing in a concert hanging in the air wearing a silver dress, and then, in 2017, Lady Gaga also performed the same performance in real life. Similarly, Miley Cyrus also performed in Simpsons' Ride on the Ball scene, which was copied exactly, which was actually released in 1994. Many things have been done deliberately to get media attention, but the other side of the story is yet to be seen. It has happened many times that after real events took place, Simpsons made a cartoon of it and then it was shown on social media as if it was a years-old prediction. The burning globe photo that you saw at the beginning of the video was not predicted by The Simpsons years ago. This real photo is from 2017, in which Donald Trump, King Salman, and the Egyptian president held the globe while launching a center against extremism. After this photo went viral, Simpsons also made an exact cartoon of this scene. They made it and posted it on social media, and then people showed it as if it was predicted by The Simpsons in 2002. Now, because The Simpsons is famous for this reason, people believed it. Similarly, the scene of Donald Trump coming down the escalator was made and posted by Simpsons after it had happened in reality. The escalator scene is actually from June 16, 2015, and Simpsons posted it on July 7, 2015. But so many predictions have also proved to be true. Then how does this animated series predict the future? Simpsons predict the future based on their clever observations, and above all, it is just a coincidence. It is not a concept theory that there are some powerful people behind it. Simpsons writers are also well aware of this, and they are a team of very talented people. These are the types of people who assess the situation and predict what will happen in the future, like when Simpsons predicted smartwatches and video calls. At that time, only phones with line were available in homes. But this idea had already been floated, and with the speed at which technology was growing, it is not difficult to guess that in the future there will be video calls as well. Like today, we all know that due to global warming, one day all the glaciers will melt. So if Simpsons make such a prediction today, and in the coming 10 to 20 years a big glacier melts, then everyone will say that Simpsons predicted this lava. Simpsons writers follow trends in technology and politics very closely and show these trends in the show in an exaggerated manner, and we should not forget that more than 700 episodes of Simpsons have been released. There are countless ideas and a huge number of scenes in these. If 1015 scenes out of so many scenes match with any future event, then it is not a big deal. Showing Donald Trump as president in the year 2000 was also just a coincidence. At that time, Donald Trump had just entered politics, so The Simpsons showed him as president as a joke. Similarly, in the 1995 episode, the cone-shaped building shown behind the Big Ben Tower was also behind this. Simpsons had very clever observations. At the place where this building, the Shard, is standing, there was another tower earlier which was called Southwark Towers. In 1990, this building had become outdated and it was planned to demolish it and build an iconic building here, and this news also got published in the newspapers. Now the writers of Simpsons knew that in the future, an iconic building will be built at this location, and at that time, cone-shaped designs looked very futuristic, so they made a cartoon of it which later matched the real building. Actually, this was not a prediction, but it was just a coincidence. I hope you all will like and share this video.